We were hoping to have had a meeting in St. Martin around the second half of January, actually in the week of the 18th. That did not materialize, and the discussion now would be underway forward. For me, it remains a very serious issue because in the meanwhile, someone who has had water rights granted by the government of St. Martin, that was granted a building permit, that was granted a business license, that had been operating a business for several years, is now suddenly hampered in the operation of the business. It is not that there is a dispute and the business is operating, the business cannot operate. The question at the given moment would be, who will compensate the business for all of these losses? And if the business goes under altogether, what happens then? I got a disturbing message from the owner of the marina that they're about to lose a major contract because the charter company cannot operate anymore from the marina, and interestingly, it appears as if they're moving now to Marigot. So that makes it even more complicated. Not complicated in the sense, when I'm saying complicated, it's an interesting thing, because if the French authorities render a business on the Dutch side inoperable, and then clients move their operation now to the French side, it all lends for a good script in a James Bond movie. But in the meantime, there are two issues. One, the business aspect of it, and two, the aspect of the relationship between the two countries, where one is muscling in on property that actually belong to the Dutch side of St. Martin. And I am personally taking this matter seriously, and we hope that with the intervention of The Hague and Paris, this matter will be resolved as quickly as possible. In the meantime, we continue, of course, to deal with the developments that are taking place. I won't say anything further on it, as the meeting of Parliament is tomorrow. So it's like a coming attraction. I'm sure all of you will be there to listen to the developments and the angle from which Parliament will be taking it, but also, at least I know, the angle from which government would like to take it. I think, in February, there's a Kingdom Conference that is supposed to take place, a conference where the 4 prime ministers of the kingdom would be present, and I would definitely like to get some of the things off of my chest. What I do not get off my chest in Parliament tomorrow, for sure, will be off my chest in that meeting. The relationship within the kingdom is not what, in my opinion, it is supposed to be. There's an election in the Netherlands soon, and I don't know if politicians are gearing up for their political support at home. I don't know, and it doesn't really, I don't want to get into that, but what I think is that there should be an understanding as to exactly what this kingdom is. Is it a kingdom with 4 countries in it, or is it an extension of what it used to be, the Dutch kingdom with its colonies spread out throughout the Caribbean? There is no difference, as far as I'm concerned, between St. Martin and the Sabre and Statia. We might have a different constitutional makeup, but the manner in which Holland feels that they can make decisions, decide on things, no consultation, the rest will come tomorrow.
I going.
I going.
I going.
I going.
I going.
I going.
I going. I going. I going. I going.
I going.
I going.
I going.
With the bike.
Are you going? Friday, April 28th, Carnival Village.
Life is a journey full of connections. You're in safe hands, even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Yes, it's the first Calypso 10 taking place on February 21st, 2017 at the Carnival Village in Gallows Bay, Marigot. Come out and hear 10 Calypsonians performing for you. King Bobo, Ricky the Fox, Lady Righteous, Ebony Impress, Shira, Baker Jr., Dr. Ray, Pepper, Chipman, and the reigning Calypso monarch, Shakia. It all takes place at the Carnival Village in Gallows Bay, Marigot, starting at 8 p.m. Entrance fee is only $10 or €10. Come out and support your local Calypsonians in the first Calypso 10. It takes place on February 21st, 2017. You better be there because I'm gonna be mistaken me.
I'd like to update the general public on a few matters pertaining to the ministry. As stated last week, Wednesday, a meeting was held with the management and staff of the Leonard Connor School in order to update them as to the state of affairs. The staff and management were also given the opportunity to voice their concerns, and many brought forward concerns, especially those based at the Charles Leopold Bell School, which is still partially under construction, at least at the front of the school. Some of the works which needed to be finalized have been discussed with the contractors as a result of these conversations with the teachers and management. And while some have been executed already during this week and the weekend, the major or the last will be finalized or will require at least 15 working days to be completed. The contractors are aiming to have finalized all the work at this location by February 10th of 2017. Also, in relation to the Leonard Connor School, as you all know, they are still dispersed, some, as I mentioned, at the Charles Leopold Bell, some at other schools. And I must again publicly thank them as well as the hosting schools for bearing with us during this period, this interim period, while we try to work out the logistics. The current status as to when the electrical upgrades and AC installations can take place at LCS, I must say that I'm happy to say that they can begin shortly. I won't specify a particular date as we are finalizing between this week how the funding will be executed. However, it has been approved, and as we move forward, we expect that, as the contractors has mentioned, that they expect that it would take 4 to 6 weeks to be completed. So we are looking forward, and we have asked the school management and staff for their patience for the next 4 to 6 weeks, pending the start of it. So let's say 7 weeks maximum, hopefully, before they are reinstated at their location. Also, in news pertaining to schools and actually the community, the Prince William Alexander School project, which had a groundbreaking but had been stalled due to the necessary removal of asbestos from the building before the demolition could take place, is scheduled to take place shortly. And there was a meeting that was held with the president or the council itself, the St. Peter's Community Council, last week. And following that meeting, it was decided to host another public meeting, which will be held on Thursday, January 26th, which is tomorrow, with the Ministry of ROMI, Department of New Projects Development and Planning, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, Division Public Education, and the community at large within, of course, the St. Peter's area, in order, at the Rupert Maynard Center at 7:30 p.m., in order to further inform the residents of the community on the removal, how it will be done, etc., and what precautions are being taken to ensure everyone's safety. So again, this meeting will be attended by representatives of the Department of New Projects, Division Public Education, the contractor, Designer's Choice, as well as asbestos specialists, the asbestos removal company, independent consultant engineers, they are the construction management and site supervision company, and the St. Peter's Community Council, who are actually hosting the meeting. So the St. Peter's community is invited to attend this very important updating meeting in order to give them the necessary information.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 fun mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of fun miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free fun miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, fun within your reach.
Yes, it's the first Calypso 10 taking place on February 21st, 2017 at the Carnival Village in Dallas Bay, Marigot. Come out and hear 10 Calypsonians performing for you. King Bobo, Ricky the Fox, Lady Righteous, Ebony Empress, Shira, Baker Jr., Dr. Ray, Pepper, Chipman, and the reigning Calypso monarch, Shakia. It all takes place at the Carnival Village in Gallaudet, Marigot, starting at 8 p.m. The entrance fee is only $10 or €10. Come out and support your local Calypsonians in the first Calypso 10. It takes place on February 21st, 2017. You better be there because I thought you'd be mistaken me. Let me know.
I'm pleased to report that we are in the 3rd week or the start of the 4th week of January. and that we are in a position to share with you the provisional numbers for 2016. And the provisional numbers that we have for 2016 is that we've managed the budget in such a manner, notwithstanding all of the difficulties we were confronted with in 2016, and ended up with a provisional surplus of 1.1 million guilders for 2016. Bear in mind that the budget 2016, we had started with reserving 20 million guilders from revenues to be able to pay debts of the past. So in actual fact, we really have a 21.1 million guilders in extra revenues for 2016, 1.1 being reserves, and the 20 million assigned to be able to pay back debts. If you can recall, we started out with a backlog of 190 million guilders in debt in November 2015 when we took office. The way things presently look, that debt will be reduced to 50,800,000 guilders in 2017. All in all, it means that we are really heading in the right direction, and that the people at the ministry, the entire finance department, and members of government deserves appreciation for their full cooperation in tackling those severe problems we were confronted with. There are some risks and there are some problems. TOT has lagged behind in 2016. Approximately 7 million guilders was collected less in TOT than was budgeted. That we have very little control over because it relates to the economy, amongst other things. Of course, and that we don't know yet, but we're gearing up also to deal with that. Namely, the question, is everybody reporting as they should the correct amount in TOT that they have generated? As we stand now, the assumption has to be that we assume good faith and that all of it regards the economy until the contrary can be shown. In that regard, we're also busy in putting a team together that will be knocking on people's doors and verifying, did they pay their TOT, did they pay their wage taxes, did they file properly, are the employees that they have visa, the Minister of Visa, or the Ministry of Visa is actively involved in doing this already, and there's going to be a combination with the tax department as we're setting it up now, that information gathered in the field will be shared with all of the departments, and appropriate action can be taken when discoveries are made that does not meet the rules and the laws. For instance, if you find someone working illegally, that will have a potential in generating an audit. That an audit team then will follow up, because if you not adhering to the rules and the laws and not paying wage taxes, then there'll be other things that you're not doing either. If you have the potential of not meeting what the law requires, it will not be only in one area, but we will assume that there are other areas that you're also not living up to the requirements of the law.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Yes, it's the first Calypso 10 taking place on February 21st, 2017 at the Carnival Village in Gallows Bay, Marigot. Come out and hear 10 Calypsonians performing for you. King Bobo, Ricky the Fox, Lady Righteous, Ebony Empress, Shira, Baker Jr., Dr. Ray, Pepper, Chipman, and the reigning Calypso monarch, Shakia. It all takes place at the Carnival Village in Gallows Bay, Marigot, starting at 8 p.m. The entrance fee is only $10 or €10. Come out and support your local Calypsonians in the first Calypso 10. It takes place on February 21st, 2017. You better be there because I'm coming with a stick in me.
That there are certain aspects that are collective bargaining and other aspects that are profound to social dialogue. And these aspects are very important for the outcome and the results of the rights and benefits of the workers. We are in country St. Martin. We started at a level after 2010, and there are a number of things that we are not pleased with where it pertains to the workers and the working class on St. Martin, but by having the voice, being the voice of the persons, we can make that change. One of the things I'm referring to, for example, is the 6 months contract. We have seen administrations go and come, and seemingly nobody have had the courage to be able to stand up and abolish that 6 months contract. And this is where we as unions should continue to voice our strong opinion, because this 6 months contract probably has its pros for the employers, but it has serious negative effect on the employees and their social development, their social sustainability, because if every 6 months you are without a job, it takes away from your fabric, your social fabric, to be able to maintain yourself and your family. And especially when you have to wait, for example, at a job, you have to wait like 2 months, sometimes 3 months or 4 months before you can continue with the same company. It also builds a negative impact on government and their social security system, and therefore it behooves a real serious intervention where we can come up with a solution and have that 6 months contract abolished. Because when you have a person on a 6 months contract, they cannot sustain themselves, they cannot get a loan, they cannot probably process the things that needs to be done to provide themselves with a shelter, a living accommodation, and these are not, this 6 months contract is not alone in level of lower jobs. It is across the board. So even the persons that are well skilled and are professionally trained and educated are now feeling the brunt of this 6 months contract and its effect. So for that reason, we are therefore, as a unions, we are therefore hoping that with the light of hope that in 2017 we can truly say this has been abolished. In addition to that, I feel that the workers in the workforce, they themselves should realize that the amount of challenges that they would have, it is time that they should unionize for them to be better served and their purposes to be better served. We have to, in unity, have people unionize. We still have the same old system where you need to have a referendum to be able to, how you would say, to represent a group of people. And that, I think, is the most deterring factor, that people, when you have to go through a referendum, people get the time to intimidate others to change their minds. And then afterwards, you have situations where people regret not being unionized because in the time when it should have happened, they were influenced and, they were talked out of the idea of becoming a member of the union. Based on those strong articles, ILO conventions that have been laid forth, your rights to organization and your rights to collective bargaining, I think all young people should know these rights, and they should, once entering into the labor force, they should make sure that they are represented by a union. So, a word to the workers: be wise, unionize.